Hello and welcome to lightingminds.com learning channel. In this learning channel, I will be teaching short learning units of about videos of about 3 to about 10 minutes each on topics in Indian philosophy and on popular topics of interest regarding or related to Indian traditions. This is my first video that I'm making. Today is Chandramana Yugadi on the 7th of April 2016 in the US, and it is Yugadi in India on the 8th of April 2016. So I thought that would be the best topic to start off my video on, since there is some confusion or some ignorance about what all this stands for. So let's look at what this Chandramana Yugadi is. If you look at any new year, let's say January 1st, you'll wonder, what is the significance of the date? January 1st is in the middle of nowhere in terms of any reference point. It's probably at some point was something related to the winter solstice on December 21st, but as such is probably only of historical significance of some date that was chosen as a new year. But in that sense, the April 7th date for this year, or any Yugadi day, in Indian traditions does not have any historical significance, but they are related to a reference point in the zodiac. So first thing for all of us to remember is all of our time calculations that are there in Indian traditions, they are referenced to the zodiac. And I here show the picture of the zodiac. You can ignore this for now. Just can't focus on this. So this is as if this is the earth that we are standing on, and this is the sky. And this is Aries. This is the 0 degrees of Aries. And that's the fixed reference point. And if the sky is now divided into 12, then you get the 12 zodiac signs. This is the Mesha, this is the Rishabha, Mithuna, Kataka, Simha, Virgo, and Libra, and all of those, and all the way to Pisces. So this is the chart of the sky in the morning of the 7th of April 2016. So with the sun and moon together, as you can see here, the sun is here and the moon is here. Okay, so first thing to remember in the Indian traditions is every time measurement that we have is with reference to the 0 degrees of zodiac, which I'm showing here. Okay, so with that reference of 0 degrees of zodiac, the question will be, how do we measure? I mean, there are so many different, there are 2 or 3 different calendars that are there to measure a year. So let us look at those. The first one is called Samvatsara. Samvatsara is a year. Sam prefix means some that which is complete or perfect. So there is a perfect or a true year. And the true year is a measure of the sun that goes around the zodiac to come back to the 0th degree. So that happens on a fixed day every year. On April 14th, the sun actually enters from this sign and goes all the way to this sign at the 0 degrees of Aries. And from that point, when it goes around and comes back around here to join the 0 degrees again, that is a true 365 1/4 day year. So that's why it's called Samvatsara. Samvatsara means a year which is complete, which is 365 1/4, approximately 1/4 days. And we don't have a leap year scheme because if you count from sun entering the zodiac at this 0 point, from one year to another, that takes care of all corrections. So we don't need any corrections. We just need to keep track of the sun coming back to this point every year, and that will give us the measure of the true year. So that's called as Samvatsara, which is the true year of 365 days is measured as Sauramana. Sauramana means, mana means measure, Saura means using the sun to measure the year. When you use the sun to measure the year, then you're actually measuring the earth going around the sun, so which will show the sun's background go around the zodiac, and that's one full circle, which is 365 days. So every April 14th or April 15th, when the sun transits to Aries 0 degrees, we have the celebration of the new year, because the 0 degrees is the reference point and the starting point of the year. So people call it variously as Tamil New Year or some other new year, but that's not the right term. The right term is Chandramana Yugadi, and it's a calendar that every one of us should celebrate as the year's true year measured with the sun, which is 365 days. So that's one kind of year. The second kind of year that we are interested in is the current today, which is Chandramana Yugadi. So as the word itself or the name itself will suggest, mana is measure, Chandra means moon. So that means a year, measuring a year with the moon. And how does that happen? So there are two kinds of measures of the year with the moon that's possible. One is to track the moon entering at this reference point here and going around the zodiac 12 times. And so the moon takes 29.5 days to go around the zodiac. And that is why every month is a 30-day month. So it takes about 354.5 days. So approximately 355 days for the moon to come from, go from this 0 degrees all the way around and come back to that point. So that's 354.5 or 354.3, approximately 355 days. Now, we do not measure the year that way, even though the length of the year or lunar year is 355 days. What is measured is actually the distance between the sun and the moon, and that's called Tithi. As you can see here, the sun is here today on April 7th, 2016 US sunrise. So as you can see, that means the sun and the moon are today together, and so that means that it's a new moon. Actually, yesterday was the new moon. Today is the first of the bright half. So the moon actually then leaves the sun in this sign and goes around, and when it comes opposite the sun, it's the full moon. So what is measured is this distance, and that distance between the sun and the moon, this distance, that's called the Tithi. So when we do the Tithi measure and not just take the lunar cycle, it's an ingenious way of keeping track of the true year, because since the lunar cycle is 355 days, 354 and a fraction, so it's not a true year, and therefore we go out of sync. And so to bring it to the sync, you'll need a method to sync up. And so this Tithi of measuring the distance between the sun and the moon would always bring us in sync, because there's an extra month that gets added when these go out of sync. And so every 5 years, there's 2 months that's added, 2 lunar months that's added to make it sync up. So every 5 years, and Bhishma says that in the Mahabharata, Panchame Varshe Dvav Masaha Abhijayate. So two months are added every 5 years. So that means it takes about 62 months in 5 years, 62 lunar months and 60 solar months. That makes 5 years. So that's when they come back in sync by adding those two. So today, what happened is, so this new moon occurs in every sign around the years, and that's the different new moons in different months. And since this is the 0 degree reference here, this is the 12th or the last new moon that has happened in Pisces, and after that is the start of the new month or the new year. So new month and the new year. So that is what is today. Today is Chandramana Yugadi. That is the new moon in the 12th sign is complete, and now the first month of the year of a fresh year has started, and the moon goes now across the zodiac and makes 12 uh, circles around it, and there's going to be 12 conjunctions of sun and the moon. There's going to be 12 new moons, and then the last new moon of the year will be again in the sign of Pisces, and after that will be the start of the year. So that is what is the new. That's how the new year is calculated. It's the lunar new year, but with a reference to the zodiac, and the zodiac 0 degrees is here now. So the zodiac 0 degrees is now, as you can see, this is how the eastern horizon is rising here. So that means the zodiac is now in the eastern horizon, and that is how that is when this happens in April, and that's when we get the reference in the horizon. And when the sun and the moon, when the sun crosses over that, it's the new year. And when the conjunction of the sun and the moon happens near it in the 12th sign, the next day will be the start of the synodic lunar new year. So these are not some arbitrary things that were started. These have a lot of meaning, and as you can see, there's no need for any leap month, or not a leap day added by some organization. All of these additions and the differences will be added by itself, because we track the reference point. So these additions happen automatically, and so there's no authority figure or authority organization that's needed to get this done. So hopefully you have enjoyed this, and this has been informational to everybody. If you like this video and would like to get more of these kinds of videos, you can visit my website at www.lightingminds.com, and you can look at all my 10-minute videos, as well as my Gita and Upanishad lectures there. And please, if you like it, please do share with your family and friends. And once again, wishing all of you with the real names for these New Years. It's not a regional New Year, it's not a Telugu New Year, it's not a Tamil New Year. Let's wish everybody a Chandramana Yugadi for the 7th of April 2016 in the US, and for all the friends who celebrate the Sauramana Yugadi on the 14th of April, a very happy New Year also to you. So thanks everybody, take care, bye.